Yo, what's going on, y'all? My name is Alex, and the Nuggets have officially defeated the LA Lakers in a complete dominant fashion, winning in a sweep. And although I didn't think the Lakers would have made it to the conference finals, and I think overall have really surprised a lot of people, and I also thought, hey, they beat the defending champs, and I have said for a while now that I thought this team would be dangerous, especially after all those trades that they made. They could pose some sort of threat to the Nuggets, but I still had the Nuggets winning the series in about 6 games. I thought that the size and the defense the Lakers offered would be effective since it's been able to hold their opponents to 107.7 offensive rating in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, but the Nuggets didn't care about all that. The Nuggets against the Lakers had an offensive rating of 123.6, which is 16 points better than what the Lakers had previously allowed. They have truly looked unguardable, and it's not just from this series, but the playoffs in general. So I wanted to discuss why the Nuggets were able to win so easily, and why we really should have seen this coming. Before we start though, if you do end up enjoying this video, make sure to like and sub. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so it would mean a lot. Anyways, let's get started. So the Lakers, back in their 2020 championship run, won the chip because of how great they were defensively, and it had to do with Anthony Davis and the point of attack defenders that they had at the time. Today, Anthony Davis is still there, but majority of their defense comes from their bigger forwards like Vanderbilt, LeBron, and even Rui Hachimura, and I thought that that size would match up pretty well against the Nuggets team, who is also huge in their front court with guys like MPJ, who's 6'10", Aaron Gordon, who's 6'9", and of course Jokic. However, the Lakers never truly found an answer for Jokic and Murray, whether it was individually or just as a duo. AD could not remotely slow down Jokic. Jokic is just too big, he was too strong for AD to handle on his own, and there were times too where Jokic was just blowing by AD in the half-court offense and even in transition, which surprised a lot of people. However, this shouldn't have come as a surprise because if you were actually watching the Lakers for the past couple of years, this has been a problem for the Lakers where their transition defense just isn't as good as it should be, and it's mainly an effort problem. Because AD couldn't guard one-on-one, late in Game 1, Darvin Ham put Rui Hachimura on Jokic, which allowed AD to roam off and help him contest or make him pass out, and this definitely helped them in this game to slow down Jokic, but the Nuggets were just able to close it out despite that defensive coverage change. However, this strategy from the Lakers was used for the rest of the series, and it didn't nearly have the same impact as it did in Game 1, and it had to do with the adjustments the Nuggets made after seeing that coverage. We could look at the fourth quarter of Game 3, and yet again Rui is on Jokic, and Jokic was just super aggressive and looking to score because Rui is just too small, again, to guard Jokic. Then later in the fourth, the Nuggets started having Jamal Murray set the screen for Jokic to do a little bit of inverted pick and roll, and the Lakers were absolutely unprepared because their switching was just completely off, and it led to a lot of easy layups and open threes for Jokic and Murray. Even when the switches were executed properly, now you have Murray ISOing against AD, and he made a bunch of tough shots over him, or you have a guard on Jokic, and of course that's going to be easy buckets. Even when the ball got out of the hands of Jokic and Murray, because Anthony Davis was able to force the ball out due to him doubling, the ball would swing out to some elite shooters like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope or Michael Porter Jr., who were able to knock down threes consistently off of screens, off the bounce, and even spotting up. And if you weren't aware as well, everyone except for Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon, and Christian Brown, who are pretty low volume 3-point shooters anyway, were shooting 40% from 3. All of this together is what allowed Jokic to still have an elite series against a great defensive team where he averaged 27 points per game, 14 rebounds, 11 assists, a block, and a steal on 50, 47, 77 splits, with a true shooting percentage of 59%. Jamal Murray was also a matchup nightmare for the Lakers because they tried to put Vanderbilt on him, but he could never stay in front of Murray, and AD would play in a drop, so the looks that Murray got were just really good. And eventually Vando would be played off of the court as well because of his offensive limitations. This would lower the amount of guys that you could legitimately put on Jamal Murray, so it led to people like Dennis Schroeder who got mashed up with Murray, and again, he just couldn't do anything to stop him. Murray was posting him up, attacking him in pick and rolls, and even cutting back door, and all of this was generating him some great looks, and he was able to take advantage of it, especially in Game 3, but overall in the series he was great. He was able to average 32 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, almost 3 steals a game on 52, 40, 95 splits, which would give him a true shooting percentage of 65%. Now, to talk about the Nuggets defense, I talked about it in my Suns versus Nuggets video, but to say it again, whenever Jokic gets put into a pick and roll, he has been hedging the screen to stop any open lanes to the rim from the ball handler and allowing the other teammate in the pick and roll to recover to the ball handler. And once they do, Jokic is able to go back to the roll man, who was kind of contained by either someone like Michael Porter Jr., KCP, or Aaron Gordon on the weak side. And Jokic can live in the paint instead of being on the perimeter and also focus on rebounding. Although it isn't perfect, this defensive scheme worked against the Suns, and it especially worked against the Lakers because the open threes this defense tends to give up just weren't falling for guys like D'Angelo Russell, Rui, and even LeBron, who seemed to be the main recipients of these open looks. In this series, D'Lo shot 13% from 3, Rui shot 33%, and LeBron only shot 26%. And because D'Lo was really struggling overall in this game with shooting the ball and his defense just kind of being bad, he really didn't play all that much, especially in late game situations. Since there were multiple players struggling to shoot as well, it allowed for Jokic to play in drop coverages depending on the ball handler. And shout out to KCP, Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, and Aaron Gordon for being able to run over and contest late, stop dribble penetration off a fake, and cause turnovers or just bad shots. And also shout out to MPJ, who I was worried earlier in the season that his defense may not be ready for the playoffs because there wasn't much improvements that I had at least seen in the first 20 games after a long offseason, but throughout the entire season, he has definitely turned himself into a respectable defender that just can't be played off the floor because of his limitations. All 5 of these guys have really made Jamal Murray's and Jokic's life on defense really easy because they can make up for any mistakes that were bound to happen, and it has made the Nuggets in general a very solid defensive unit when many people counted them out on that side of the ball. From what we saw from the elite duo of Jokic and Murray, along with the bench unit just being really good, the shooting being there, along with the defense as well surrounding that duo, myself, Lakers fans, and even just fans of the NBA in general should have seen this dominance coming, even if we thought the Lakers were going to lose regardless. The Nuggets were just the better team. They had the better players, they were deeper, and they were just more connected. And they've been wildly disrespected and almost ignored the entire season. And they've been able to use that as fuel to the fire in order to help them dominate the Lakers like they did. And it's why they find themselves in their first NBA Finals appearance in their franchise history. Well, those are my thoughts on the Lakers and Nuggets series. Let me know down below what y'all think. If you enjoyed, again, make sure to like and sub. Check out my socials down below in the description. And you can also check out this video somewhere on the screen where I go over why Joel Embiid is a fraud and he isn't the guy that I think a lot of you may think he is. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.